here we are.
Well, you're familiar with the history of Full Circle, but we started in 1991. We were, of course, a pilot project where we actually got a 3-year demonstration grant from the Center for Substance Abuse Prevention, addressing youth ages 8 to 12 around alcohol, drug, and tobacco prevention. And the areas was Leadville, Pueblo, and Northeast Denver. Northeast Denver, of course, was my area, targeting African-American children and their families. And what made us unique is it was an intergenerational mentoring program, but usually mentoring is just dealing with one-on-one with the mentor and the child. We knew to make a difference and have an impact on addressing the prevention of particularly drugs, smoking, and those things in our community, we wanted it to be family-oriented, and actually we derived it the name of Full Circle, recognizing it takes 3 generations to keep culture alive, working with our families using a 3-pronged approach of one-on-one mentoring, family and cultural bonding, and community bonding. So one, we wanted to really focus on the young person, building resiliency through having a special person, allowing them to have a support system that was their own besides their family, not taken away from family, because we didn't want to be at a place where we say a mentor can do it better or do it, differently, but how could a mentor support and enhance the family unit, the parents as well as the child, but the child feeling they have their own special person. Then it was really unique because the mentoring program was designed to have a family component, thus our family nights, where the families, along with the mentor and the child, would come once a month, and we actually focus on, we focused on different bonding, but we used, of course, the personal development, the family and culture, and the community, but we did it quarterly. But the whole purpose of this was to show that life is connected. It's not compartmentalized. So we also believe that whatever our learnings were to take place, it was to be through fun and family. And so, of course, we also, with the family nights, we had the community piece where we integrated our young people, because our young people needed to understand they are an important component of the community. They are an asset, meaning it was important for them to feel, understand, and recognize giving as well as receiving, that life is about reciprocity. So it's that give and take piece. And so here we are, 2012, and we're really trying to take this project, which, Yondell, you are a product of. You enrolled at age 8. And with that, now you are 28 and about to take over this project. And I'm real excited. We've been very successful in those 20 years that we existed. We built numerous partnerships. And what really makes it nice, we came with Full Circle because we did talk about it takes 3 generations to keep culture alive. And part of that is we had a lot of things going on when we decided to do this piece. Number one, during the time Full Circle was formed, there was prevalent drug activities in our community. You couldn't even walk to the corner without someone asking what you need, what you want, which was people on bicycles selling crack cocaine, and they had started to recruit young children to do this process. And so, I just said one day, something's got to be done. I can't take it anymore. And then I didn't think it was me that was supposed to do this piece, but as I'm driving to work right after that, Michael Jackson, I turned the radio, and Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, came on. And I go, oh my God, it's me. I've got to do something. And so I pulled over and just had to do a prayer. And through that, with a group of other folk, this is how Full Circle got started. And we realized the importance of having family involved because, again, mentors are role models, as we say, but parents are real models. So it's important that parents and everyone are involved. And what made this a successful program is from day one, I asked the permission of the community of the parents, of the youth that were involved in Full Circle. How would they like to see this shaped? How would it unfold? And I used to have a standing joke that I didn't do kids. And obviously I do kids because I listen and I have great respect for children. And I remember starting the program, inviting everybody. I'd done a radio announcement about the program on back then, KDKO. And with that, some parents heard it. They called me. I went to one of the elementary schools, Gilpin Elementary, and met with the principal, Dr. Langley. He was impressed with the program. He invited me to his faculty meeting and allowed me to present my program. And from that, teachers gave me referrals, and I was able to contact parents. They were interested, and I did my first ice cream social and invited everybody to come and wanted to talk about what it was I wanted to do and how family nights. And I wanted this to be a quarterly project. And the parents and children unanimously said to me, we need to do this monthly. Thus formed family night activities. And then we talked about it. And what I really liked is parents got so the parents and the children would actually become host families, where they hosted a family night. They were the persons that set up, they greeted you, they made sure they were involved in the program piece, as well as making sure everyone evaluated the programs, participated, cleaned up. And it was really just that, a family. Full Circle became a family. And again, it was ages 8 to 12. I remember when my young people reached 12 and they realized they were going to have to transition out, they came and says, why should we leave? We think it should be until we're older, and we should even, and then their little sisters and brothers said, well, can't we be Full Circle members? So we kind of looked up, and Full Circle started from age 6 to 18. You could actually stay in the program until graduation, because once you got a mentor, you had up to 10 years to be with your mentor and work with you. And some of the unique pieces was that just like we interviewed the parents, and if the parents were okay with the program, at that point then we would ask permission to meet with the child. But we never just assumed because the parents said it was a program good enough for the child. We spent time. We would share what our process and what our program was. And then we would ask the child if they were interested in being a part of Full Circle. And usually the answer was yes. And we would ask them various questions. What would they like in a mentor? How did they see themselves? Even how they saw their family, and how would this mentor and all of this come together? And if that worked out, at that point, we had a time that we would schedule an appointment for parent to meet the mentor, and then later the child met the mentor. Mentors were they were referred, they had to have references, background checks, and again, after that process and all of the paperwork came in, if it was a match based on assessment of the child and mentor's interest, we would set up the meeting with the parent, and if they were all comfortable, then of course we set up the mentoring process, mentor-mentee. If things were a go, everyone signed on the dotted line, and they at least had to commit to mentor a child for a year. But I think I stated earlier, a child had an opportunity to have their mentor up to 10 years, which is very special. And what we found is actually the mentor-mentee and parents formed a great family relationship. It was very close-knit, but there were guidelines. We were real clear. Mentees could not spend the night with mentors. That wasn't something under Full Circle's watch. Also, parents were to have their child ready and waiting if the mentor and the child had a date or where they were going, an engagement they were attending. It was real clear the mentee was to be ready, that this wasn't a babysitting service, and it also wasn't a punishment type activity. So if something happened, it was the mentee's responsibility to contact their mentor and inform them they couldn't make it. It was, again, a reciprocity. It was equally as important that the mentee called and interacted with their mentor as well as the mentor. Mentor was required to give we'd say at least 3 hours a week to their child, which could be a phone call, but we did want to have at least several meetings during the month with their child. So, and then of course some of the projects they did was getting involved, school cleanup, or we might do some things gardening or working out in the community, but where we could give back. And again, it was always they could come up with ideas as well as Full Circle would help them with their ideas. And I think in a nutshell, that's kind of my story. We had various components. There was the Senior Youth Partnership, and one of the things, as I said, Full Circle started in '91. But with that, we were able, the majority of the parents of the children were single parent, had a household, with at least, I'd say, 80% being female. And with that, they came and said they wanted their own program. What could they have? And so thus, we came up with Sister Girls Coming Full Circle, which was a program working with women, looking at how they could just get themselves together, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and their total well-being. So they dealt with everything from finances to how to have fun, balance in their life, taking care of their children as well as taking care of themselves, relationships, health, wellness. It was just well-rounded. And they also met and agreed they wanted to meet. It started once a month, and then they moved to twice a month. So we've had that program. We've built in exercise classes, everything from car seat safety. So Full Circle has truly come full circle. And now that we're looking at John L. Moody, who enrolled in our program at age 8, now looking at becoming the executive director and chief bottle washer and everything else for Full Circle, because that's what happens when you work with the nonprofit. It's exciting. I know we've come full circle. Anytime you can actually pass the mantle. And I believe I'm doing that. And what makes this more exciting is some of John L's peers that were involved in the program are now parents, and their children to this day are already enrolled in the Full Circle program.